17th of September because of injury. The bench is Carl Darlow, Kieran Trippier, Paul Dummett, Chris Wood, Ryan Fraser, Miguel Almiron, Joe Willock, Dan Burn, Bruno Guimaraes. All set to go. It's going to be Wednesday, second in League One against third in the Premier League Newcastle, who kick us underway. And it's BBC Radio Newcastle and NUFC TV. United defending the goal to our right, kicking towards the away fans in the second half. To the left, they've got it in midfield. Elliot Anderson playing it into space straight away for Matt Ritchie. Down the right-hand side, 20 seconds gone into the final third. They've won a throw.
Nice first touch for Anderson. Got it out of his feet. Good little ball.
Still in Newcastle's possession. Yellow ball played by Joe Linton into Anderson. Tried to turn 30 yards out. It's been tackled. Jamal Lewis over to Jacob Murphy. Ritchie has started on the right wing. Murphy on the left. And a free kick given for a foul on Murphy. It's on the left-hand side. 10 yards or so up from the halfway line. And they're going to leave it for Matt Ritchie to come back and take. A very noisy public address system before kick-off, but good support for both teams from the stands. But it's the Newcastle fans we can hear at the moment as Ritchie clips the ball into the penalty area, headed away. It's Lascelles on the right wing who plays it back to Manquillo, takes a touch. Lascelles again on down the line to Sean Longstaff. There's still 5 or 6 white shirts in this attack. They've tried a 1-2 and it's gone behind.
Unlucky, yeah. You can see what they tried to do. It was a little bit tight.
Two minutes played. And Dawson with the goal kick. And it looks like it's going to be a long goal kick as players push up towards halfway and they come across to this near side, the Sheffield Wednesday right.
Yeah, it's interesting the way they've lined up as well. Isak obviously through the middle. Matt Ritchie on the right side, Jacob Murphy on the left side.
Anderson with a header in midfield, but on by Sheffield Wednesday. Smith has got Botman and Lewis there. He's whipped over across. It's a high ball over to the far side, and it's too strong. There was no one in the middle.
No.
But got onto it in the corner, held off a defender, and with another one coming in trying to take it off him, did manage to get a cross away at least. Throw taken by Manquillo to Lascelles, back to Manquillo on the line. Lascelles away into a midfield area, flicked back by Wednesday. And this is Iorfa in the centre circle, over to Palmer on halfway. Diagonal ball. Lascelles is watching. Heads it to Ritchie, who's brought it down with a very nice first touch, Matt Ritchie, and Longstaff back to Dubravka. Short to Botman. Lewis receives it, left full-back position. Down the line for Murphy, he's got space and options inside. He's looking for Isak. And Isak's got there ahead of the Wednesday defender and kept it in and then played it through the legs of McGuinness, who has pulled back Alexander Isak.
Yeah, didn't look comfortable, did he, the big centre-back?
Free kick for Newcastle on the left, 20 yards from goal.
Yeah, didn't look comfortable at all. Just wrapped his arms around him.
In the 4th minute, another free kick, but a good opportunity for Ritchie to cross a dangerous ball into the box. Manquillo and Lewis have stayed back. Murphy is hanging back from the area as well. All others are in there in this Newcastle attack. Ritchie with the free kick. One Sheffield Wednesday player in the wall. It's a good ball in and it's headed over, and they appeal for a corner, but goal kick is the decision. It was Elliot Anderson at the back post who was closest to it for Newcastle. Ritchie tried to pick him out, but over the top.
Great ball in, went and competed for it. Referee wasn't too sure which way to give that, by the way. He wasn't 100% sure it was a goal kick.
Marvin Johnson, the left wing back for Sheffield Wednesday, had gone into a position in space on the left, but the goalkeeper's gone long instead, headed on there by Dele Bashiru. And away by Newcastle, but back with Wednesday, lining up a shot from distance, blocked by United. Lascelles back to Manquillo, headed to Dubravka, but Jamal Lascelles was caught, and free kick has been given. It looks like Dele Bashiru is just playing as a more advanced central midfielder, with Byers and Volks sitting deeper. Joe Linton for Newcastle to Manquillo, back to Lascelles. Dubravka at the edge of the area takes a touch. 2 League Cup appearances, that's all for Manchester United, both at Old Trafford, in what looks like a bit of a strange loan move in the first part of the season. Murphy's been robbed. Sheffield Wednesday were in, and it's a shot driven wide from inside the penalty area, right-footed from Liam Palmer, who from the throw that Newcastle took, nicked it back, charged on, and his shot was just bending away from Dubravka's right-hand post.
Yeah, well, Murphy wanted far too much time. Quick throw-in taken by Lewis. Needed to get onto it quicker. He has his pocket pinched. That takes the shot on early. Always gone wide though, but warning signs are there.
He's got 4 goals this season, Liam Palmer, Scottish international, and nearly had another, but it remains 0-0. 6 minutes on the clock. BBC Radio Newcastle. Jamal Lewis cuts out a ball down the line. Wednesday appealing for handball, nothing given. Longstaff to Lewis now, who crosses halfway, finds Isak, who gives himself space and moves it on to Ritchie. Overlapping run from Manquillo, corner of the area. Ritchie plays in Manquillo, hangs up the cross. Isak, what a save! What a save from Cameron Dawson, who got down to scoop the ball away with his left hand, and it's a Newcastle corner. Big chance, brilliant save.
Yeah, it's a decent save, but it's a bit close to the keeper as well.
Corner taken
further away.
Longstaff to Ritchie, looking for Lascelles, too high, and that's a goal kick.
Yeah, just seen the save again. It's a save, it's close to his body, either side of him, and that's in the back of the net. It's a great ball hung up by Manquillo. Decent enough header, but as I say, just too close to the goalkeeper.
A massive chance for Newcastle to take the lead, and Alexander Isak hasn't had to wait long for his first opportunity in front of goal. 7.5 minutes now played, but denied by the goalkeeper. Still 0-0. Here's Isak heading it back towards Lewis on halfway, and Newcastle have lost it, and this is Windass for Sheffield Wednesday. 2 to the left. He's played one of them in. It's Johnson into the area, taken over by Dele Bashiru. Now a cross coming in, too close to Dubravka, from deep from Reece James, and Newcastle get it started quickly. Dubravka rolling it to Anderson, Murphy to the left, Isak in a central position back to Longstaff, and Joe Linton on it, right of centre. Ritchie on the touchline. Manquillo inside to Longstaff, on towards Joe Linton. He left it for Ritchie. It's been won back by the home team. They play it over the top. Nobody there in blue and white. Dubravka's ball.
Yeah, poor ball over the top. Expecting runners, didn't get one. Just gone straight through to Dubravka.
Lewis passed down the line, cut out. Then he's won it back for Newcastle in a block challenge with Smith. A lot of home supporters feeling that should have been a free kick, but the referee Michael Salisbury said no. Iorfa given away to Anderson on halfway. Challenge from Palmer, and it's a Newcastle throw.
Yeah, they're playing in dangerous areas, Sheffield Wednesday, and giving it away.
Lewis on halfway with the throw. Howe and Tyndall are both with their hands in pockets, looking on from the very edge of the technical area. Joe Linton back to Botman. Over it goes to Lascelles. Ritchie's tucked in. Manquillo's available wide. It's gone to the full-back and down into the corner, but Isak didn't make the run, and the goalkeeper Dawson has left his area. to retrieve the ball, brings it inside the box and picks it up. 0-0 after nearly 10 minutes. A throw out to the far left-hand side and then forwards from the back from McGuinness. A couple of nice passes from Sheffield Wednesday, keeping hold of the ball. They go back to central defence. Mark McGuinness to Dominic Iorfa. And this is Will Vaulks, turns and plays it to the left wing, where it's kept in by Marvin Johnson and put out down the line by Newcastle. Manquillo with the clearance.
Good ball over the top, wasn't it? Johnson did well to keep it in. It looked like it was just going to skid off that surface.
They go back to the goalkeeper in the D. Dawson takes his time, floats it out to the near side. Anderson intercepts with a header. Murphy back towards Lewis, but it's rather between Lewis and Botman, and it's the Dutchman who comes across and plays it to Dubravka outside the Newcastle area, to Joelinton, man on, back to Botman. First time to Lewis, has a touch. Botman again, 0-0. Into the area now, and Botman right-footed away towards Manquillo, who flicks on. Ritchie's there, collects it, tries to play it back to Manquillo. It's taken a touch off a Wednesday defender, and then Manquillo has got the better of his man and goes round the goalkeeper. Manquillo's cross headed away from the near post area by McGuinness and kept in on the far side.
Did great, didn't he?
Just kept going, Manquillo. Now a risky back pass into the area towards Iorfa. They look a bit shaky defensively, Sheffield Wednesday. Murphy now adjudged to a foul. Palmer, he says it was shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah.
Michael Salisbury says free kick. But Manquillo ran with the defender, challenged him. Goalkeeper came, and then
goalkeeper got himself into no man's land. Once he was there, he couldn't touch Manquillo. Manquillo did all that he could do. He just tried to help it back into the penalty area. Fortunately for Sheffield Wednesday, defender was there.
Still goalless, but Newcastle one big chance through Isak, saved, one handed by the keeper, and then a dangerous break there, and Liam Palmer driving just wide for Sheffield Wednesday. That was the first chance of the game here on BBC Radio Newcastle. Half time in this, we'll have reaction to Sunderland's late comeback win at Shrewsbury, and also the non-league football roundup. Murphy challenged and then gets the ball back from Iorfa, and down the left wing he goes for Newcastle. Put out by the big defender. Lewis to Murphy from the throw, 20 yards from the goal to our left. Floated over to Manquillo as they switch the play to the right. Joelinton with three around him, back to Manquillo. On halfway now it's Lascelles. Longstaff to the feet of Manquillo along the halfway line. Back to Lascelles, Botman's inside. They've gone to the goalkeeper, forced all the way back by Wednesday. Lewis to Anderson, who's seen a fair bit of it so far, and now he's given it away, and it's touched on and wide as Dubravka came away from his goal, off his line. Anderson's back pass, I don't think he saw Windass in the middle, and he intercepted, but with one touch managed to steer the ball wide of goal. If he'd been able to control it, Ando, that could have been very different.
Yeah, he was just stretching, wasn't he? I mean, Anderson's knocked the ball blind. He's got there Windass, but he was always stretching, didn't have the ball under control. Unfortunately for us, it's gone the wrong side of the post.
He beat the keeper to it, Windass, but the effort went wide of Newcastle's goal. Still 0-0, but a bit of a scare as Joelinton lifts it over the top of James on the far side for the run of Manquillo. It's put out for a throw. Manquillo may have been caught as James cleared it. He's all right. And Joelinton with the throw back to Ritchie, who lets it run and is now closer to halfway than the box, but still has it. Up to Isak, lovely flick. Anderson and Joelinton were close to it, but Iorfa was there, and it's put out for a Newcastle ball in the 15th minute. Lewis back to Botman in front of Newcastle's penalty area. 8 changes tonight. Isak starting. No Sam Maxima in the squad. It appears they are saying that he is unwell. Joelinton in midfield looking for Murphy. They appeal for offside. Flag goes up. He's played in all but one of Newcastle's games this season, Jacob Murphy, but this is only his 7th start. And McGuinness, the central defender, the middle of the 3 with the free kick. Lascelles' header, Longstaff to Manquillo, some space for Newcastle. Ritchie free out to the right. They look inside for Isak. It's cut out, and then George Byers loses it. Ritchie challenged by Byers, who recovers, and played forwards by the League One team straight to Lascelles. Joelinton, man behind him, turns and gets taken down.
Ooh, tell you what.
Referee right on top of it, gives the free kick to the displeasure of a couple in blue and white stripes.
Yeah, I can understand why.
They didn't think that there was a foul there.
No,
as Joelinton was challenged, but referee very close, and he felt that it was. Botman back to Lascelles. It's a square ball, really, and it goes up to Joelinton, and on halfway Manquillo, first time to Ritchie, takes it out wide, tries to play it down the line for Manquillo's forward run, and Newcastle have another throw, 0-0. Away from home in round 3, once again, Newcastle, only 4 of the last 17 third-round ties have been at home, at least in the original game, so not including replays. We've done a lot of travelling since coming back after the World Cup as well. Next 2 after this are at home, though, Leicester and Fulham. Anderson on the left side to Botman. Smith gets in front of Botman, who has to then recover and concedes a throw. He's a physical centre forward, Michael Smith. He'll enjoy the battle with Botman, who's just given him a big shove as he ran into the penalty area.
Botman shoved him, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant,
Yeah, to be fair, Smith's roughed him up a little bit. He's not used to that, Botman, not in the Premier League. And he reacted to it there.
Well, Lascelles will know all about that sort of opponent. He just takes the ball down on his chest. Newcastle's captain, only his 7th appearance of the season. Joelinton in midfield, Manquillo on the right, brought it inside, Longstaff with a touch, that's a good ball. Elliot Anderson, space, left of centre, to the feet of Murphy, 30 yards out, Lewis on the overlap, Murphy plays in Jamal Lewis, 3 in the middle, Lewis's ball, Joelinton was closest, and the Wednesday defence get it clear, and out for a throw.
Yeah, panicked, didn't they, at the back, Sheffield Wednesday.
Murphy on the outside to Lewis, inside to Longstaff. Ritchie's pulled out into space on the far right-hand side. They've gone back to Lascelles, on to Manquillo, 0-0 here on BBC Radio Newcastle. Ritchie to Manquillo, and Lascelles, furthest player back. Botman now over halfway to Anderson. Botman 15 yards from the halfway line. Joelinton has gone into a position on the right on halfway with Manquillo advanced down the line. Ritchie infield. It's Matt Ritchie who gets it, returns it to Joelinton, looking for some help. Back to Botman. Still no goals. Botman's forward pass cut out by Dele Bashiru. Longstaff looking for Murphy, had to stretch, couldn't get there. Lewis has charged down Palmer's clearance, and it's a throw for Wednesday on the right side of defence.
Yeah, as we expected, the boys haven't played together. It's a little bit disjointed, but it's an open enough game. You know, it's end to end, it's stretched.
Murphy with a header away, and clearance by Sheffield Wednesday. Lascelles, ball back to Dubravka, forced him away from goal. He took a touch, Dubravka, and has played it forwards.
Poor ball back to him, wasn't
it?
Yeah, it was a poor ball back to him.
Here it is with Dawson, the goalkeeper, and Iorfa tripped.
Oh, he got lucky
by Murphy.
He got really lucky.
Now, Murphy seems to have hurt himself. He's limping, but they once again played themselves into trouble, Sheffield Wednesday.
Trying to play out from the back, played themselves into trouble. But he got lucky, the big centre-back.
Almost midway through the first half, a reminder of the team: Dubravka, Manquillo, Lascelles, Botman, Lewis, Anderson, Longstaff, Joelinton, and Murphy, Ritchie and Isak. Wilson and Cher not in the squad tonight. No Alan Saint-Maximin either. Bruno, Trippier, Almiron among the substitutes. Sheffield Wednesday have a player down. Jacob Murphy still doesn't look too comfortable, but the game has stopped, and they're just seeing whether they need to give some treatment to a Wednesday player. There were other FA Cup ties at tea time, kicking off at 5:30. Luton 1, Wigan 1 at half-time. Goalless between Grimsby and Burton. Wrexham of the National League lead 2-1 away at Coventry of the Championship. And an all-Premier League tie is 0-0, Brentford, West Ham. Liverpool Wolves, by the way, kick off at 8. Match resumes with Newcastle in possession. Dubravka at the back, plays it to the right to Lascelles, and looking for Manquillo and finds him down the line. Ritchie back to Manquillo, forwards towards Isak, off his chest and on to Joelinton on the charge, right hand side. Out wide it goes to Isak, who has a couple of touches, takes on the defender, and it's smacked out for a throw close to the corner flag on the far side of the pitch.
Good play, he just shifted it, didn't he? Stood the big defender up, left him for dead.
0-0 at Hillsborough. Joelinton receives it, and last touch was his. It's gone out again. It's a Wednesday throw. Give us an assessment of the game so far, John Anderson.
It's been decent enough. It's been end to end. It's probably a little bit too open for both managers. Both have had chances. Isak's header a little bit too close to the keeper. At the other end, they've dragged one wide of Dubravka's right-hand post from a back pass from Anderson. But yeah, neither side has really been able to get real control of the game. You know, a lot of sloppy passes. It's exactly what you thought it would be with all the changes that have been made.
Newcastle throw. Right hand side. Manquillo in the Sheffield Wednesday half. Ritchie's got 3 around him. Back to Manquillo, under pressure into Newcastle's half of the field. Botman is there. Dubravka had left his box, but the defender has got the situation under control, and a pass to Lewis into the feet of Anderson. 2 on him, takes it inside. It's a blue and white shirt there. Byers, and then McGuinness back to Dawson, the goalkeeper, with left-footed clearance. Lascelles gives Smith a shove and then wins the header. Longstaff pursued by Smith, carries it, and in the centre circle, challenge comes in and it's a foul.
Don't know what he's arguing about.
They've moved it quickly, Newcastle. Manquillo on the right-hand side, receiving it from Ritchie. Comes in off the flank himself. Manquillo through for Isak in the area. Alexander Isak saved.
Big chance
by Dawson, low down, and it's a corner.
Yeah, big chance. Great little ball. Well played, Manquillo. Got it out of his feet nice and early, but he's just smashed it straight at the keeper, didn't he? Keeper stood big and strong. Came off his knees.
Do you remember his goal at Liverpool?
Yeah.
When the ball was just played through from the right and he just peeled off, found the space, similar sort of position, but low shot, saved by the keeper. He's had 2 chances, Isak, on his first start since September. Ritchie, short corner, then he whips one in from the far side, headed away. Murphy to Lewis. Anderson on the left wing. can take on his man. In fact, he's got 2 to beat Anderson. He's got space, cuts back inside and plays it to the feet of Botman. It's back to Anderson near the corner of the area. Rolled into the middle for Isak, trying to link up with Ritchie. It's cleared. And Lascelles with pressure on Johnson, whose ball forwards is straight to Manquillo. Lascelles back towards Manquillo. Difficult bouncing ball, hooked away down the line. It stayed in. Ritchie's got it, and Ritchie has carried it out of play.
Handball.
Or is it handball? Sorry.
A couple of little bits of pressure.
BBC Radio Newcastle. Total Sport back on Monday at 6. Every weekday evening we take your calls on Sunderland and Newcastle and have the latest from both clubs. The North East only football phone in. You can always listen back to any episode you've missed on BBC Sounds. This is Manquillo in his own defensive third. Lascelles, corner of Newcastle's area. Joe Linton has given him some support, receives it into the box with a pass to Botman. Lewis is available short. Botman misses out Lewis over the head of Palmer for Murphy. Dispossessed by Palmer. Inside by Volks for Sheffield Wednesday. Longstaff, whose white strip is not so white anymore, pretty muddy from all the challenges that have come in, and time he's been on the floor. A clearance hooked over the head of Manquillo by Reece James, and a Newcastle throw. Anderson's made a run. It's a good one to get him in the corner on the right. Defender with him, trying to win a corner kick. Elliot Anderson
does as well.
He does so.
Volks just let him run, didn't track him in there initially, and then he's forced to give the corner kick away.
20-year-old winning Newcastle this latest corner. It's again from the far right-hand side. Matt Ritchie, left-footed, is there. Every player back to defend in the box for Sheffield Wednesday. 2 on the edge of the area for Newcastle. Ritchie whips it in near post. Isak got up, but it was too high for him. Big header away. Murphy back to Manquillo. Helps it further back to goalkeeper Dubravka. And to the feet of Lewis. Inside to Longstaff. Botman, 2 on him. Botman tackled. It's come back to Longstaff. Lewis to Joe Linton. He sends it back to the goalkeeper, and away left-footed. Anderson gets up with McGuinness, the defender. 6'4", wins the header. Newcastle have it again though. Anderson does well to hold off Volks and Byers in midfield, and still on the left side Newcastle. Anderson fouled by Palmer, and Sheffield Wednesday do not agree with Michael Salisbury, the referee. John Anderson doesn't agree with Michael Salisbury. Darren Moore in his long black coat was furious, throwing his arms around there after that decision was made. Botman. 29th minute. Over to Ritchie, links up with Joe Linton. Ritchie on the burst. Oh, it's brilliant from Matt Ritchie, what a run. And now Manquillo on the right wing, low ball in. Ritchie, can he finish it off? Onto the roof of the net, right-footed.
Yeah, it was with a swinger, wasn't it? Just looped up in the air. Did great initially. Little give and go, little 1-2 with Joe Linton, and just bust through the middle. Ball played out wide to Manquillo, and he just kept going. Ball comes in, he just scoops it with his right foot.
Yeah, Ritchie, brilliant run, brilliant setup, and a move down the right-hand side for Newcastle, but I don't know if it was slightly behind him, Ritchie, when it came his way, and the 33-year-old couldn't beat Dawson, and couldn't get anything, I suppose, meaningful on the shot. Now they want a free kick. Sheffield Wednesday for Lascelles' challenge from the goal kick. Play on is the decision. Anderson snapping at his heels, back to Longstaff, and then a switch, and Isak's drifted onto the right wing. takes it down on his chest. Great first touch, covering defender, gets the ball back to the goalkeeper.
Yeah, first touch was great.
And they've played it to George Byers, who didn't realise necessarily that there were a couple of Newcastle players right on him. He gave it back to the goalkeeper, and they've got it clear. This is Smith on the right-hand side. Lovely feet, drags it back, moves it forwards. Windass back inside for Smith. Botman cuts it out, and then he's been caught by Michael Smith. And Lascelles comes across. Botman picks himself up.
A little bit of nous. A little bit of Premier League nous.
Smith trying to disrupt things and upset Newcastle's defenders.
Great bit of skill on the touchline.
Joelinton and Ritchie link up in midfield. Manquillo's away, right-hand side, and it's played into his path, almost on the goal line. Manquillo cuts it back, looking for Isak, but intercepted by McGuinness in the middle of the box. 0-0. Lascelles with a header towards Manquillo, far side, down the line for Joelinton, who's kept it in now for Longstaff. And Newcastle, through Lewis and Murphy, have it on the left wing. In the final third, Isak makes a run into the inside left position. Botman from in front of halfway with a big switch. Manquillo, who's attacked really well so far, gives it to Isak. Couldn't hold it off with the defender behind him. And Longstaff with a block, free kick. Goes the way of the home team.
Yeah, the boy Vaux in the middle of the park wants too much time on the ball. He's had his pocket pinched a few times. He's lucky to get away with a free kick there as well.
Now, Will Vaux, a full international with Wales. 7 caps. Signed from Cardiff, the Championship in the summer. Lascelles to Botman, Longstaff for Newcastle, and now Murphy in the centre circle, over to Matt Ritchie's feet, far touchline, 0-0. Slows it down, back to Manquillo on halfway, and the ball with Lascelles now behind the centre circle, square to Botman, and Lewis could get it on the touchline. They go back to Lascelles. It's Longstaff inside towards Joelinton, back to Botman. They nearly pinched it back, the League One team, but Newcastle still have it. Botman not popular with the home supporters. Long ball over the top, keeper leaves his area. Not the most convincing kick clear. Anderson tried to head it away, but it's headed backwards by Sheffield Wednesday. Murphy challenged with McGuinness, and back to the goalkeeper they go. He clips it out to this near side to Palmer, near to halfway, in towards Joelinton, who gets the better of Dele Bashiru in midfield. Newcastle through Lascelles, forwards to Ritchie, on to Joelinton, turns back inside, finds space. He's played it against Longstaff, and Sheffield Wednesday have won it back. Joelinton then trips Byers near to the centre spot. Free kick given by the referee, still goalless.
Yeah, right in front of the referee, just trying to be too clever.
Offside. Dele Bashiru on the left wing. BBC Radio Newcastle, live at Hillsborough. Newcastle's last win at this ground was in February 2000 in the Premier League. Kevin Gallagher and Alan Shearer scored the goals. But they've actually lost their last 3 against Wednesday, including home and away in the Championship season. Pretty rare defeats during that campaign. Lascelles played in the game here, as did Ritchie. Darlow, who's on the bench tonight, was in that team. Dummett started the game, he's a sub tonight. Shelby was also involved. They even had Sammy Amiobi on the bench that day, Newcastle. He was part of the squad in that championship.
Fox has got done again.
They've won the ball back, Newcastle, in midfield. Elliot Anderson looking to create something that can maybe give them an opening goal. But back to halfway they go. Longstaff to Botman.
Yeah, they're starting to take control of the game.
Joelinton looking for Isak. He went beyond, defender came short, and Iorfa's won it. Windass is offside. Delabashiru trying to run through. Lascelles at the last second scooped it out for a throw.
Thought he was just going to get there and poke it away from him.
Ten minutes to half time. Dominic Iorfa into midfield to Will Vaux, down the line by Liam Palmer. Newcastle throw halfway. Jamal Lewis to the feet of Joelinton, looking for Murphy. They were crowded out, Newcastle, and Iorfa looks across to James, and he gets it back and then gives it to the goalkeeper. Isak goes to close down, and they still play it. The Newcastle press is there, but Sheffield Wednesday have again beaten it, and forwards it goes. Botman helping it on towards halfway. Longstaff trying to play it back, and now Michael Smith played through into the area, right hand side, two defenders with him. Block on the cross from Lewis, and then out of Longstaff for a throw. 10 yards from the corner flag, 0-0.
Yeah, just wanted too long to put the cross in, didn't he? Allow defenders to get back and get the block in.
Iorfa. Murphy forcing him to turn back, and then he gets a good ball down the line. It's a dangerous cross, whipped in, and it's touched behind by Botman. It's a corner on the far side. Players arriving late at the back post couldn't get a touch because Botman had diverted it away, and Sheffield Wednesday have a corner kick.
It's a great ball, isn't it? A lot of bend, a lot of whip on it. Botman's got a touch on it, could have went anywhere. On the far left-hand side, a short corner. Then they play it back to James, 30 yards out. It's a high ball hung up. Smith heads on. Lascelles away. Up by Anderson, not really away. It's come out to the left wing. Isak challenges for it. Anderson there as well. Iorfa with a challenge. Newcastle through Longstaff have it, and they could break. Ritchie to Longstaff, through for Murphy. One defender to beat Jacob Murphy. 30 yards out. Another one getting back, and he gets a vital touch in, and it's put out for a Newcastle throw near to the corner flag on the far side. Yeah, McGuinness, nothing subtle about it. He had time and he's just lashed it.
Still on that right wing with the ball, Newcastle, 0-0. Joelinton, one of three players keeping their place in the team tonight. Longstaff and Botman the others. Joelinton gets it again, right side of central midfield. Longstaff to the Brazilian once more. Lewis to Isak, who's dropped off. His left wing, Alexander Isak. Two defenders to beat. Look to slip it through for Lewis. It's blocked. He's found Anderson, and Isak was taken down. And a free kick has been given to Newcastle. Another good position, just over 20 yards out on the left wing.
Silly free kick to give away. They had plenty of covering defenders. It was the big centre-back, wasn't it, Dominic Iorfa?
And now, Matt Ritchie again, who put in a great ball earlier that Anderson headed over with another set piece. And Isak in there. Botman, Lascelles, Joelinton. Anderson is another option. One Wednesday player in the wall near to the corner of the penalty area. 39th minute, Matt Ritchie's free kick. It's tossed in there and headed away and helped on. Ritchie with a header back into the box. Anderson fouled, edge of the area. Elliot Anderson back to goal. Was it the challenge over the top from the defender? And Michael
handball
given it, and it's given Newcastle another free kick.
Yeah, it's handball. Volks it was who came over inside him. He's jumped. He's not getting it, and he puts his hand up and handles it.
I should add, maybe I should have said earlier, that if you listen to us and actually watching pictures of the game, we can't see a replay, so we are not able to review anything immediately. Now, Alexander Isak fancies this. He's had a header saved well, and a shot from the right side of the area blocked by the goalkeeper's leg. He's now got a free kick 20 yards out, left of centre. And here he comes, Isak, low, blocked.
Went for the low one, didn't he? They didn't buy it.
Not a lot of power behind it, and the Wednesday wall was able to stop it going through onto goal. Now Isak's got it and tries to get clear on the left side. He's been tackled, and Smith plays it against Anderson, who thinks it should be Newcastle's throw, but it's Wednesday's ball. And we're into the final 5 minutes, plus whatever is added on, of this first half on BBC Radio Newcastle. Sunderland reaction and the non-league roundup coming up at half-time. Botman dispossesses Windass. And Newcastle free kick. Central midfield position. Slightly to the left. And Ritchie and Lewis look like they're unsure who's going to take it. It is going to be Matt Ritchie, who communicates with the bench, and various arm and hand movements in the direction of the players on the edge of the area, awaiting the ball in. It's just chipped into the box. Good Sheffield Wednesday nod clear. Anderson heads it back to Manquillo, who helps it forwards. 3 defenders go up, Lascelles and Botman go for the same ball. One of them headed it on, and then it's cleared back and away by Sheffield Wednesday, with Dubravka getting onto it to our right hand side, edge of Newcastle's box. Botman across to Longstaff, challenge comes in, and it's a Newcastle throw. Sheffield Wednesday there through George Byers putting it out. To get to this stage, they beat Morecambe at home 2-0, and another home tie in round 2 against Mansfield 2-1. So they've seen off 2 League 2 sides so far. Joelinton on Newcastle's left, 0-0. Murphy back into Joelinton, wanting help. Had Anderson at the edge of the area but couldn't find him. And a long ball played away. As Botman goes for the big switch, and header back by Marvin Johnson to the goalkeeper.
Yeah, just kept his eye on it, didn't he?
Johnson played in a giant killing of Newcastle a few years ago. He was in the Oxford team in 2017 that put a then Championship Newcastle side out in the 4th round. Botman backpedaling, goalkeeper's kick from his hands is a tricky one, and Wednesday could be in here looking for Windass in the middle. The cross from Palmer, Dubravka comes and catches.
Yeah, didn't deal with it, did we? The initial kick out. Botman got caught under it.
Back they go to Dubravka, who got them going again with an overarm throw to the left. Still no goals late in this first half. Ritchie over the top, that's a good one. Murphy is in, goalkeeper comes, Murphy lifts it around Dawson, but it's going away from goal, and then he's kept it in, gone round the other side of the defender. Murphy got the better of Iorfa eventually, having not been able to get the shot on target, trying to find room for a cross. Murphy on the right wing. What an unusual piece of play that was. Newcastle still on the attack. Joelinton crosses, looking for Anderson, too high. Goal.
Tell you what, it's a great ball. Defender does well, he just muscles him out of it, doesn't he? But it's a straight ball over the top. Sheffield Wednesday get done, Murphy's in, just lifts it over the goalkeeper.
Came off the outside of his right boot, didn't it, and just curled away from the goal. And then the defender, I think
he wanted too much time, didn't he?
Maybe he thought it was going to go behind without another touch, and Murphy, to his credit, didn't give it up. Went round the back of the defender and wide of goal on the line, kept it in, recycled the move, but Joelinton's ball in was just too far ahead of Anderson. Sheffield Wednesday, who are ending the first half on the attack, and it's Murphy now challenging. Iorfa forward, Smith to Byers, Windass away into the corner. That not a free kick.
Yeah,
could have been
a free kick.
They
went looking for it.
They looked to the assistant referee, nothing given, and now the defenders misjudged it, and Alexander Isak could be away. A recovery challenge from McGuinness.
He's been all over the place in this 45 minutes.
They've got it back to the goalkeeper as 1 minute is the minimum additional period. Still somehow 0-0. Looked like Isak was going to be through. McGuinness recovered. Joe Linton now. Brilliant burst from midfield, and he's found Manquillo, edge of the area. Tries to go between two, and then Ritchie goes down in the box as he went to challenge. Play on. It's end to end at the moment. What a challenge. Longstaff, superb work, and he's hurt himself, Sean Longstaff, and a yellow card now for Fiseo Deli Bashiru.
Yeah, it's a naughty one, that
on Sean Longstaff.
Yeah, it's a naughty one. He just, after he's played the ball, he's just left his foot there. Oh, now he's all right. Oof. No. Dear, oh dear.
Longstaff is fine.
Yeah.
Dele Bashiru is the first player to be yellow carded.
A minute ago he was in bits.
And Newcastle, the defender, McGuinness.
Oh, he's all over the place.
Misjudged the ball, but good recovery to stop Isak going through one-on-one as the half-time whistle
he just couldn't get it out of his feet, could he? Got stuck between his legs, needed to get it away from him so he could gallop onto it, but gave the defenders the opportunity to get back and get a challenge in. As the referee's whistle goes, it's been scrappy. There's been no real cohesion to it, but it's still finely balanced. I thought the longer the half went on, we got control of it, started to string 2 or 3 passes together. But as I say, I think we'd be reasonably happy at half time. I think some of the lads that have come, Manquillo's done well down that right side, I should say. Got forward when possible. Referees getting a little bit, as you would expect, but yeah, half time 0-0. Still all to play for.
And finally, they have had a couple of chances. There've been 1 or 2 at the other end as well. Palmer just wide, Windass intercepting Anderson's back pass, and a dangerous cross put wide of the post by Botman, who did some brilliant defending to stop a Wednesday player just tapping it in. But Isak with a header well saved, and then another shot saved, and Ritchie had one after a really good move that he was the driving force behind, lifting it onto the roof of the net. So they could be ahead, Newcastle. Could be ahead, they could be behind as well. Yeah.
Depending on which way you want to look at it. The Isak header needs to be, it's a decent save by the keeper, but it's too close to. You know, it's either side, and you're 1-0 up. At the other end, they had one that flashed past the post. They had the Anderson back pass. Windass just he was always stretching, just couldn't control the ball. But look at half time, 0-0. As I say, still all to play for, still in the melting pot.
This is BBC Radio Newcastle live at Hillsborough in the 3rd round of the FA Cup. The second half to come at the break. Sheffield Wednesday 0, Newcastle United 0.
Lots of people talking about this super cold.
Matt Bailey at breakfast.
I think I had this over Christmas. It doesn't appear to be COVID. It didn't come up in any tests. It didn't appear to be flu. Dr. Emma Hodcroft, who is an epidemiologist, do we know kind of what this is?
So this is really interesting. I've heard a couple of people talk about this, and unfortunately, I'm not sure that we do know exactly what virus it is. But there's unfortunately a couple of viruses that cause cold. There's some rhinoviruses, enteroviruses, and other coronaviruses that all cause cold. And it could really be any one of these. We haven't had a cold in a few years, and so getting one after having those few years off, not having that boosting of our immune system from having had smaller colds, might just mean that it's hitting a little harder this time and with a bit of vengeance.
The sound of the Northeast at breakfast. BBC Radio Newcastle, making a difference in the Northeast.
Sheffield United 0, Newcastle United 0 at half-time at Hillsborough. We'll be back with Matthew Raisbeck and John Anderson for full commentary of the second half in just over 10 minutes' time. It is the penultimate of 22 FA Cup third-round matches this afternoon. There were 6 that were played at lunchtime today. Southampton won 2-1 at Crystal Palace in an all-Premier League tie. I say there were 6 played, actually. There were only 5 played because Forest Green Rovers against Birmingham was postponed. Leicester City of the Premier League won 1-0 away at bottom of League 2 Gillingham. They had to hold on a bit at the end as well. Preston beat Huddersfield 3-1 and Reading beat Watford 2-0. Those were both all championship ties. Spurs 1-0 winners over Portsmouth thanks to Harry Kane. In the afternoon games, we'll come back to Sunderland's dramatic 2-1 win at Shrewsbury in a few minutes' time. But elsewhere, Blackpool thumped Nottingham Forest of the Premier League by 4-1. 2 really good results for the National League sides. The 2 National League sides that played at 3 o'clock. Boreham Wood with a 1-1 draw at home to Accrington Stanley. That one goes to a replay. And Chesterfield 3, West Bromwich Albion 3. But they were close to winning that one 3-2. Brandon Thomas Asante equalising for West Brom in the final minute of the game. So that goes to a replay as well. Burnley of the Championship won 3-2 at Premier League. Bournemouth. Fleetwood of League 1 beat Queen's Park Rangers of the Championship by 2-1. Fulham avoided a shock though. They won 2-0 at Hull. Ipswich of League 1 beat Rotherham of the Championship 4-1 as well. So a good few shocks this afternoon. Not at the Riverside though. Brighton were 5-1 winners away at Middlesbrough today. A couple in there for Alexis McAllister. And Sheffield United, flying high in the Championship, beat Millwall 2-0. There were 4 games that kicked off at 5:30. No goals between Brentford and West Ham United. But Wrexham, the 3rd National League side still in the competition, are 3-1 up at Coventry City. They were 2-0 up after 20 minutes. Sam Dalby scoring both of them. Ben Sheaf got one back for Coventry, but Thomas O'Connor on the stroke of half-time. So Coventry 1, Wrexham 3. They are about 10 minutes or so into the second half in these games that started at 5:30. Still no goals between Grimsby and Burton Albion, and it's Luton 1, Wigan 1. At Liverpool against Wolves is the final game today. Lots more tomorrow, one on Monday as well. But Liverpool against Wolves kicks off at 8 o'clock today. That will complete the FA Cup for Saturday. But for us, as far as we're concerned, it's time to talk non-league football now.
Total Sport.
Local football in the northeast.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
You are listening to the local football roundup here on BBC Radio Newcastle. We will get some reaction to our featured non-league game of the day in just a moment. But first, here with all the results from today is Dom James.
Thank you very much, Colin. We will begin in the Vanarama National League. Barnet 1, Gateshead 1. The Vanarama National League North. Blythe Spartans 0, Kingsland Town 0. The pitching in Northern Premier League Premier Division. Matlock Town 2, Morpeth Town 2. South Shields 2, Marine 1. The pitching in Northern Premier League East Division. All of our games were postponed. It was Dunstan versus Shildon, Hebburn Town versus Pontefract Collieries, and North Shields versus Concert. All those games were postponed. To the Scottish Lowland League, Bowness United 1, Berwick Rangers 0. To the EBAC Northern League Division 1 now. Ashington 2, Penrith 1, Bishop Auckland 5, Crook Town 0. Eaton Stannington 2, Gisborough Town 0. Newton Aycliffe 5, West Auckland Town 0. The game between Northallerton and Redcar was postponed. Seaham Red Star 5, West Allotment Celtic 0. Sunderland RSA 1, Wickham 1. The game between Thornaby and Pickering and Towlaw Town versus Newcastle Benfield were postponed. Whitley Bay 1, Carlisle City 5. The EBAC Northern League Division 2 now. Bolden CA 0, Horden 6. Sunderland West End 2, Jarrow 1. Billingham Town 1, Berkeley Town 5. The games between Blythe Town and Billingham's in Thernia and Brandon United versus Borough Rangers were postponed. Chelsea Street Town 2, Wright and Crook Albion 1. Chelsea Street United 3, Bedlington Terriers 4. Eastington Colliery 1, Newcastle University 5. Prudhoe Seniors 3, Redcar Town 3, and the game between Washington and Eshwinning was postponed. Colin.
Yes, lots of waterlogged pitches, but lots of high-scoring games as well, and the ones that did go ahead. Thank you, Dom. Paul Dixon, our non-league reporter, is back in the studio after watching Ashington against Penrith in Northern League Division 1 this afternoon. You were entertained, Paul.
really was entertained, yes. It was an incredible game. I mean, Ashton winning 2-1, but that doesn't tell the story. I mean, the first half, they had chance after chance. It could have been 6-0 at half time, but had to settle for one. It was Robbie Dale on 44 minutes after he had missed a penalty on 30 minutes. Good save by the keeper. Robbie, a good bit of skill in the box, beat 2 defenders and slotted the ball home. And then when it looked as though they were going to move on and then get the goals, Penrith equalised. They crossed from the right then, just lashed into the roof of the net to make it 1 each. And it was the crowd of nearly 500 were gasping there after all them chances. You know, is this going to cost her? But then substitute Adam Johnson, great shot right into the corner of the net to put them 2-1 up. I mean, we spoke before the game about it was a must-win and they must get 3 points. I spoke to the manager, Ian Skinner, after the game. He was pleased with the result. Ian, 3 points, you'll be pleased with that?
Delighted. Delighted with the 3 points, but delighted for the players because they've worked really hard in the last couple of weeks. And we weren't bothered what it looked like today. We just needed to get back to winning ways, so credit to the lads.
I mean, it was 2-1. 1-0 for a long time. They equalised 73rd minute, and then sub Johnson come on and scored a real good goal. But just checking my notes there, it could have been 8 today, really.
Yeah, I mean, the story of the first half was missed opportunities and fantastic saves from their goalkeeper. But we scored right on half time, and I think that alleviated some of the frustrations that we might have carried into the dressing room. And then again, second half, we've had a multitude of opportunities, some missed, some great defensive blocks on lines. Their goalkeepers made some great saves, and we've got caught with a classic sucker punch a little bit. But again, credit to the players. In previous games, we've gone on to ship another one and lose the game, but we got back on the front foot, and I'm delighted for AJ because he's a great lad. He works hard, he waits and he's patient, and he gets dipped in and dipped out, and I'm delighted he's came on and scored the winner.
And another great crowd here today, nearly 500 this afternoon, roaring their team on. They really were.
No, they've been brilliant for well over a year now, really, and long may that continue. And we mentioned it before the game. We just said, look, we lost our last game here, and if nothing else, the crowd will go home happy, win, lose or draw, as long as they see you care and you want to work hard for the club. And I think they saw that from the lads today, but thankfully we were on the end of a positive result as well.
In top 4 in now, so it's a big push from now to the end of the season because you want to go up, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, second half of the season, we've talked a lot about where we want to be, and we do want to go up. I'm not going to shy away from that. But what we've adopted for the second half of the season is week by week. So we've trained really hard this week and we've won. So now we'll try and train Tuesday, Thursday and prepare for Seaham away on Saturday, and that's all we're going to do, and we'll see where it takes us.
We will indeed see. That's Ian Skinner there, the Ashington manager. Paul, a quick word on 2 really good draws today. Gateshead 1-1 at Barnet in the National League, and Blythe goalless at home to Kings Lynn in National League North. And I believe Gates are one front, weren't they? They were, yes. Danny Elliott again. Yeah, they'll be they'll be pleased with the point, but I mean, once you've been in front, I mean, they're probably coming back thinking, we could have gotten 87th minute the equaliser. Is that when it was it? Oh, right. And I mean, Blythe, that's a terrific result for them against Kings Lynn, who are riding very high in the league. But I think Graham Fenton will be pleased with that. He will indeed. Good win for South Shields as well, extending their lead at the top of the NPL Premier Division to 5 points. Northern League results of the day. Dom, will start in Division 1. Has to go to Seaham. 5-0 win over West Allotment Celtic. 5 goals. And another game with big results for Division 2. I'm going to give it to Bedlington Terriers, scoring 4. And Chesley Street United will be disappointed to score 3 and still lose. Well, not only did they score 3, they missed a penalty in the 95th minute to make it 4-4. So Bedlington Terriers emerging victorious from that one. Dom and Paul, thank you very much indeed to both of you. We'll be back with a local football roundup at the slightly more normal time of 5:45 next Saturday.
Beaten on Boxing Day. Leicester City 0, Newcastle United 3. It just keeps getting better. Leicester City are back for more. First, the lads head to St James's Park in the quarter-finals of the League Cup. Matthew Racebeck and John Anderson will have every kick live. We build up to kick-off Tuesday night from 6.
Total Sport.
Then it's the turn of the Leicester City Lasses. They take on the Sunderland women at Eppleton in a rearranged Conti Cup group game. And it is a Sunderland equaliser after 16 and a half minutes. Colin White and Charlotte Patterson will have the whole 90 live. We build up to kick off Wednesday night from 6.
Great sport kicks off here.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
It's goalless at Hillsborough at half-time. Sheffield Wednesday 0, Newcastle United 0. Back in just a couple of minutes' time with Matthew Raisbeck and John Anderson. But earlier on, Sunderland scored two very, very late goals through Ross Stewart and Luke O'Nien to beat Shrewsbury 2-1 in their FA Cup tie, make it through to tomorrow's fourth round draw. Here is the Black Cats head coach, Tony Mowbray.
I don't feel relief. I feel as if it's the right result. I think you watch the match, and as the fans watch the match, and I think if it wasn't complete control for 90 minutes, I think the first 20 minutes was a bit end-to-end. We had to deal with the directness and didn't deal with it probably as well as I would have liked early on, but we got a grip of the game, and I think the last 25 minutes or so, the first half, we were in control, and I think just about all of the second half we controlled it, but we have to score, as I said at half time. I think you've got to have more bodies in the box. You have to gamble into the box. We can't just keep passing around the box all day. We have to commit men into the box, and if they head it out and break away, the defenders have to defend.
That is Tony Mowbray there. The full interview with him and one with defender Bailey Wright as well, both available on BBC Sounds. The Sunderland in the fourth round draw that takes place at 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. It was a cracking game at Kingston Park earlier this afternoon as well. In Rugby Union's Premiership, Newcastle Falcons beat Leicester 45-26. 6 Falcons tries in total, including a first half hat-trick from Mateo Carreras. The Falcons away to Cardiff in the European Challenge Cup next Sunday. Last night, Newcastle Eagles in the basketball, 79-72 winners over Surrey Scorchers in the BBL. Durham Palatinate, though, beaten by 5 points in the WBBL trophy earlier on today by Cardiff Met Archers, and they lost that final quarter by 14 points. They will not be happy with themselves. The first leg of the Morley Cup semi-final in the ice hockey as well. Whitley Warriors 3-0 up at Billingham Stars. That one started at 5:30. That's the first leg. They play the second leg at Hillheads tomorrow, but we are heading back to Hillsborough because I can see on the screen in front of me that Eddie Howe is emerging. The players will be out shortly as well. Sheffield Wednesday 0, Newcastle United 0 at half-time. Matthew Raisbeck and John Anderson are back with full second half commentary now.
The sound of Newcastle United.
Joe Wellington, Callum Wilson! Brilliant Newcastle goal! Here's Alan Saint-Maximin into the area, still going, and scores! Alan Saint-Maximin puts Newcastle ahead. Still Joe Willock, ball across.
Great sport kicks off here.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
Change for Newcastle at the start of the second half. Chris Wood is coming on, and he is going to replace Alexander Isak. Sheffield Wednesday are themselves making a change. Dennis Adeniran has come on, and he has replaced Vaseo Deli Bashiru. So like for like, and Isak off, Wood on. It may always have been the plan to give Isak 45 minutes.
Yeah, I would think so. I thought he did okay. I thought his movement was good. He had the one big chance, but he looked sharp. Doing good, getting that 45 minutes under his belt.
Good to see Alexander Isak back in the first half. And Newcastle then with Dubravka, Manquillo, Lascelles, Botman, Lewis, Anderson, Longstaff, Joe Linton, Murphy and Ritchie either side of Wood, and they kick off the Magpies the second half on BBC Radio Newcastle, NUFC TV, wearing the white and green third kit, and they're kicking from left to right from our point of view. And to help you picture it, Martin Dubravka defending the goal, behind which are 4,500 away fans. Sheffield Wednesday, blue and white stripes, black shorts and blue socks. And their team, with Newcastle in possession at the back, is Cameron Dawson, 3 centre-halves, Dominic Iorfa, Mark McGuinness, Reece James, Liam Palmer and Marvin Johnson are the wing-backs, Will Vauxhall, George Byers and Dennis Adeniran in midfield, with Josh Windass and Michael Smith up front. Matt Ritchie is hurt and was caught and was banging his fist off the turf in pain as the physio comes on now to check on Ritchie. And there's been another goal elsewhere in the FA Cup, and it's Coventry 2, Wrexham 4. So non-league team into a big lead there, 0-0 here. Ritchie, who is starting for Newcastle for only the second time this season after the Tranmere League Cup tie, being examined. I'll give you the two substitutes benches. Newcastle, with Wood having come on, now have Darlow, Trippier, Dummett, Fraser, Almiron, Willock, Byrne and Bruno. And Sheffield Wednesday, Stockdale the keeper, Brown, Wilkes, Patterson, Famewo, Bakinson, Hunt and Mighton. Clock is almost at 47 minutes. Newcastle will have a throw to take when the game resumes, but I don't think Matt Ritchie can carry on. Miguel Almiron has come back to the bench. He took off his yellow bib, was about to take off his zip training top, and is now with Jason Tyndall looking at a chart or maybe a tablet device for some tactical instructions. The physio is on with Ritchie. The doctor is in communication with the physio next to Eddie Howe on the touchline. There's a heavy limp there, Matt Ritchie.
Yeah, I didn't see it, but he's obviously in a lot of discomfort.
He was screaming in pain, Ritchie, and rolling around after initially hitting his hand off the floor, and he shouted something in the direction of the referee. It's his right foot. Ritchie. 0-0 here on BBC Radio.
It was
Newcastle.
just a coming together, wasn't it? Off the ball.
He's limping his way back down the touchline. He wants to come on, Ritchie. He's put his boot back on. Newcastle have 10 men for the moment. A throw from Manquillo to Joe Linton. And Ritchie has come back on. Lascelles to Manquillo. He'll do well to shake this off. Probably won't want the ball here, but it's near to him. Joe Linton's got it. Wood, first time layoff to Longstaff behind the centre circle. Across now to Lewis. Murphy for support. It's gone inside to Anderson, but it's intercepted. Anderson has committed a foul as he went for the ball. Sheffield Wednesday free kick back to goalkeeper Dawson, to the feet of James, lets it run onto the touchline, and his pass is intercepted by Joe Linton. Wood wide to Ritchie on his left, inside to Longstaff, 30 yards from goal, to the edge of the area. Anderson takes a touch, tries to get away, unable to do so, and cleared. And Lascelles now into midfield. Sheffield Wednesday win it. Lascelles with a good challenge. Ritchie onto Anderson. Murphy free to the left. Jacob Murphy played in, edge of the area. On his right, back through for Anderson, and Chris Wood blocked by McGuinness on the 6-yard line. Corner.
Got to be hungry. Got to be more intent to get something on it. It's just put a toe on it, hasn't he?
Murphy goes over to take the corner. On the far side, the left of Newcastle's attack. 0-0 on 50 minutes. Wood is near to the goalkeeper. He's being pulled around by a defender. Here comes the corner, lifted in, header away. Ritchie is there first and goes back to Lewis. Murphy's available out wide. Lewis turns, and from halfway forwards down the left wing to Matt Ritchie. Inside it comes. This is Sven Botman in the middle of the home team's half of the field. A return ball to Botman from Ritchie. He's gone for it, Sven Botman! And a left-footed drive from 30 yards plus is narrowly wide of Dawson's left-hand post.
Yeah, good hit. I mean, he's just strolled onto it, hits it well enough. I think keeper always knows it's going wide. No intent from Wood, was there?
You wanted more.
A bit more determination.
To be more assertive. Yeah, in that situation. They were in down the left side, Newcastle. Anderson to Murphy, back again, and Wood. It was a flick, wasn't it, off his front of his left foot, stopped by the defender. Wednesday trying to attack down the left. They've won a throw off Joe Linton. 0-0. Sunderland out of the League Cup in August. The South Yorkshire team looking to do a North East double today. Nice turn by Byers, has taken 2 Newcastle players out of it. Now 25 yards out, brings in Palmer, looking for Adeniran, and then at the near post it's turned in! It's Sheffield Wednesday who opened the scoring. They cut Newcastle open, moved it down the right-hand side, and it was flicked across at the near post beyond Dubravka and into the bottom corner. Sheffield Wednesday 1, Newcastle United 0.
That's a good goal. Good team goal. Boy does well. Wins it, drives forward.
Josh Windass is the goal scorer. And Newcastle are behind to a team from 2 divisions below. And from Wednesday's point of view, Ando, it's a very well taken, nicely worked goal. But I wonder about the defending and the way that Byers initially got away in midfield from 2.
Yeah, he got away from 2 in midfield. And he pushed forward, plays it out wide right, ball played in. Defending, yeah, could have been stronger.
It's the first goal Newcastle have conceded since the 6th of November at Southampton, and it will not be 7 clean sheets in a row. And it's been even longer since they were actually behind in a game.
Well, we don't know what it's like to concede a goal, do we?
Yeah, that would have been Bournemouth in mid-September when they last trailed, I think. So they have to come back. Newcastle's last goal in the FA Cup was in March 2020. Valentino Lazaro at West Brom. So someone has got to take that particular record. Could be Elliot Anderson. He thinks he may have won a corner. Yes. Edge of the area, put behind on the far side. 54th minute. A lot of Wednesday fans jumping up and down, celebrating the goal as Newcastle look for an equaliser. Botman blocked.
Yes.
Big chance. Anderson blocked by the feet of Dawson in front of goal. It should be 1-1. Murphy, lovely turn, and then Murphy goes for a curler, but straight at the keeper from 20 yards.
Should have scored, shouldn't he, the young boy? What a chance. What a chance. Should be 1-1.
Josh Windass's 10th goal of the season separates the teams. Here's a little touch on at the near post. Is the difference. Smith was in there in the middle as well. But they went for Windass on the near side. And Dubravka back in the team, beaten. Newcastle through Wood, playing it out to the left to Lewis. Murphy brings it down. Wood back towards Lascelles on halfway, just reaches him. I don't think it was intended for Lascelles. Just seen a replay of the goal, Ando. Windass is offside, and that shouldn't have stood.
Well, it does stand.
Yeah, you see there. He's ahead of the defender, so if there was VAR, surely that would have been chalked off, but it wasn't.
Yeah, but the defender's got to be closer to.
Well, there's no VAR.
He lets him get away with it.
Yeah.
I mean, look, he's wrong side of him. It's poor defending.
It's Lascelles who is with Windass. Botman was out to the player on the ball when it was crossed into the middle. Murphy, left wing, 30 yards from goal, one back by Wednesday. They've sent Willock, Trippier to warm up. Newcastle, Lascelles chasing a ball that was sent forwards towards Windass, and the Newcastle captain has got there. Now Ritchie might be onto this, too strong. Goalkeeper's there, comes to the side of the penalty area. Dawson picks it up. Newcastle couldn't get in from a ball over the top. They look for Smith on the far side, played back to another blue and white shirt. Botman for Longstaff now, up to Wood, holds it up, and then it's misplaced, and it's Adeniran who picks it up. Windass to the right, it's onside this time. He's gone for goal again. Dubravka diving, pushes it away. Manquillo to Longstaff, who clears. Ritchie on for Manquillo. They're on the break, Newcastle. 4-5 in this attack. Manquillo on the near right hand side to Joe Linton, looked for a flick back onto Manquillo. They've got a throw.
Yeah, decent stop, good hit, got strong hands on it, pushed it away. Dubravka.
BBC Radio Newcastle 1-0 down. Jacob Murphy has gone for it. What a hit, and what a save by Dawson. So much power in Murphy's right-footed drive that the goalkeeper fell backwards as he pushed it up and over the bar. It's a corner.
Palmer's unbelievable, the right back. He lets Murphy drift off him but doesn't go with him. Lets him pick it up a couple of touches and get good strike away. Good hit. Good. Fortunately for the keeper, it's straight at him.
Here's the corner. They went for Botman at the back stick, but it's behind. They're going to make a treble change, Newcastle. Here come some of the big boys. Willock, Almiron, and there's going to be one more. Just trying to see, because they are obscured from
Bruno,
view
isn't it?
at the moment. Yeah, it is Bruno Guimaraes. Changes from Eddie Howe in response to his team going 1-0 down. Last time they won an away tie in the FA Cup, Newcastle, original match, not a replay, in the third round, was back in 2005 when they played non-league Yeading at Loftus Road. Sean Longstaff is replaced by Bruno
Murphy.
Jacob Murphy off and Miguel Almiron on, and Joe Willock, the third and final player to come on for Elliot Anderson.
Huge chance, didn't he? Right after they scored.
And it's 1-0 to Sheffield Wednesday. Windass was offside when he scored. He was ahead of the last defender. There was no daylight between them, but he was offside. But VAR not in operation, so the goal stands. And here's the Bruno chant, and to greet the Brazilian. And Newcastle have just a little over half an hour to get back into the game. Brentford 0, West Ham 1, and Grimsby lead Burton 1-0. Those are latest scores in 5:30 kickoffs in the Cup. Another goal in the Coventry-Wrexham match. Coventry have pulled it back. They are now 4-3 down to the non-league team. Lascelles on the right, behind halfway, Manquillo. Almiron, first touch, he's given it away to Smith. Adeniran up to Windass, on to Smith, first time, looking now for the run from midfield from Byers. Newcastle intercept, and Wood moves it on to Ritchie, who's gone to the left wing with Almiron on the right. Ritchie has slipped, lost the ball, but managed to get a throw.
Yeah, he did well, because he lost his foot and then he got back up and still won the throw in.
It's John Anderson here on BBC Radio Newcastle. Former Newcastle defender. And a noisy Hillsborough with delighted home fans. Seeing their side go a goal up. Willock down the line for Almiron. It was behind him though. And Will Vaulks has got away. On the left wing for Sheffield Wednesday. 3 white Newcastle shirts chase him into the corner, and Lascelles puts it out for a throw.
Wednesday player down.
So match is stopped by the referee. He's made the changes, Ando, and it's obviously an attempt to get an equaliser as quickly as possible. We talked before the game that they don't want a replay. The other thing they don't want is to
lose
get knocked out by another team from League One.
Yeah,
like last year.
Yeah, it's still long enough, and there's still over half an hour to go. Still got plenty of time.
Poor recent record against Sheffield Wednesday, who also knocked them out of the League Cup in 2015 on a really angry night when Steve McLaren was in charge. He's continuing here, 1-0 down Newcastle. And a throw 15 yards from Dubravka's goal. Now it's going to be taken. It's Vaux back to Johnson, who hangs it up behind off an advertising board and rolls back onto the pitch. Dubravka on the 6-yard line, just rolls it short, couple of yards to Botman, standing to his left. Lascelles driven up to Wood, helped around the corner for Almiron. Tried to let it run around Johnson, who has come away with the ball. And into the final third he goes, Johnson. Lascelles tries to stop him. Jamal Lewis has to make the block in the end. Bruno with possession. Almiron, bit of space now in the Sheffield Wednesday half. On the counter, Newcastle. Support on the outside from Manquillo. He's got plenty of options. Bruno lets it run. Almiron had gone beyond. Wednesday have brought it away. Manquillo with a block. Then another clearance from the League One side. Botman to Bruno. Move to Joelinton. Trying to get control of it, Newcastle. Wood at the edge of the area. Back to Bruno. Almiron on the right corner of the box. 1-0 down. Joelinton, edge of the area. Hits it over the top. First time effort. Right-footed.
Got to hit the target. Got to hit the target. Again, hit with no conviction. Just dangle a leg at it.
65 minutes. Josh Windass, scorer of the game's only goal. And their 15-match unbeaten run in all competitions is on the line, Newcastle. Dawson with a big goal kick. Lascelles with a big header inside. Joelinton up. Bruno down towards Botman, but Joelinton has diverted it away, and Windass is in again! And Sheffield Wednesday have scored again! Newcastle are 2-0 down with 25 minutes to play.
Great finish. It's a real good finish. But the defending again and the desire to win the ball in midfield just isn't there. They wanted it more in there. There was a couple of headers. Gets played between the two centre-backs and he just hits it first time. It's a real good finish.
Sheffield Wednesday 2, Newcastle United 0. It's a very good curling finish. Bending it around Dubravka and into the far corner, the left-hand side, inside the left post. And they are 2 down. And having gone out to Cambridge last season, that was the 7th time this century that they had been knocked out of the FA Cup from a side from a lower division. We could be about to have a repeat tonight at Hillsborough. Sheffield Wednesday 2, Newcastle United 0 here on BBC Radio Newcastle, but still time to come back and stay in the FA Cup. And unbeaten runs don't last forever, but this would be a shock. Almiron back to Manquillo. Lascelles over to Botman. Chances in the first half, a couple for Isak. In the second half, Anderson had one. Murphy, Wood, Botman driving it just wide. They're looking to create another. Almiron played inside towards Willock, but intercepted, and away it goes. But Botman is there to cover.
Smith's not going to run away from me. He's not the quickest, big boy up front. It's not the type of ball he wants it into his feet.
Kieran Trippier is going to come on. Bruno on halfway. Manquillo, his third appearance of the season. He's the player you'd expect to come off. Joelinton and Willock link up nicely, edge of the box. Joelinton nowhere to go really. He's got away in the area, then cut inside. Brilliant from Joelinton and diverted wide in front of the goalkeeper by a defender. The shot was heading in towards the bottom right corner of the goal. Maybe Dawson had it covered, but put behind for a corner.
Yeah, good feet, Joelinton, good strength as well. And he's just torn back. But yet again, he doesn't get a great deal on the strike, does he? Takes the deflection, goes behind.
Manquillo is not coming off. It's Jamal Lewis.
I think Manquillo's done well tonight.
Right back, and Manquillo over to the left.
Yeah, I think Manquillo's done all right.
Trippier is going to take Newcastle's corner. Straight on and into the action. 2-0 down in the 69th minute. Wood and Bruno in the 6-yard box. Botman in there now as well. Trippier in swinger, flicked and turned in by Bruno. Bruno has scored. It was flicked towards goal, blocked by the keeper, and Bruno Guimaraes, who's only been on the pitch a few minutes, has put the rebound into the net for his fourth goal of the season, and it's Sheffield Wednesday 2, Newcastle United 1.
Well, it's a great corner kick. They don't deal with it, Sheffield Wednesday. It gets flicked on. Keeper does well, but couldn't hang on to it. Drops it at the feet. Guimaraes knocks it into an empty net. Game on.
That's given the away supporters a lift. Bruno there, right in front of goal. Couldn't miss. And Newcastle are back in it now and looking to get an equaliser, and Willock over the top for Almiron, who can run in towards goal. Almiron into the middle, and it's Ritchie, edge of the area, couldn't take the ball with him. Willock wins it back 30 yards out. Bruno. Manquillo inside to Botman. And Lascelles to the right of the centre circle. Passes it to the left to Botman. Forwards to Joelinton. Flicked on to Willock. Block challenge. 2 Sheffield Wednesday players there. And a ball tossed forwards. Botman with a nice first touch to bring it down. Get himself some space. And forwards it goes to Ritchie. Over halfway. 20 minutes to go. Trippier back to Lascelles. Bruno, position on the right in midfield, gets it back from Trippier. And this is Willock, through for Bruno, lots of space. Wood in the middle, Chris Wood took a touch, defender Aorfa came the other side and cleared. It was Wood's header initially that was saved. Before Bruno put in the rebound for the Newcastle goal.
Yeah,
and he nearly had another chance.
Yeah, got them pinned back. They're starting to look leggy, Sheffield Wednesday.
Newcastle will fancy their chances of getting at least another, but still 2-1 down. Talking about the offside for Windas's first goal, looks like Bruno was offside from Wood's header when he connected with the ball, with Trippier sending the corner in, and Bruno was ahead of the last defender. But the goal stands, and Newcastle back in it. Smith chesting it straight to Chris Wood. who couldn't find Joel Linton, who then wins a 50-50, and Ritchie with Newcastle now in possession again on the far left side. They're looking for Almiron, diagonal ball into the corner.
Too straight. Idea was right.
BBC Radio Newcastle. Total Sport back at 6 on Monday with reaction to both of the weekend's matches for Newcastle and Sunderland, and we take your calls as well. We do every weekday evening between 6 and 8. 73rd minute, goal kick for the home side. Bruno, good header across towards Manquillo, and then on to Willock, who takes it down under pressure, but is then robbed of possession and pulls back an opponent in blue and white. And a free kick that Sheffield Wednesday will be pleased to have, because they could slow things down and have a bit of a rest.
Yeah, they can get a little bit of the ball. They haven't seen a great deal of the ball the last few minutes. See what they can come up with.
It's lifted into the area.
Poor ball. It's a poor ball.
They're after the run of McGuinness.
Yeah. Volks it was who played it.
Goal kick, Dubravka short to Botman. Manquillo's free to the left. He has a touch. Manquillo, after receiving it, back to Botman and driven across to Trippier. Controls with his right. It's a good ball up to Wood, who rises to bring it down on his chest and then help it round the corner for Almiron. Joel Linton in the middle, Ritchie far side. Almiron edge of the area, checks back inside, goes for the curler.
He's kidding. Yeah, he scored some great goals this season, but he's kidding from there.
Didn't get it back around and in towards goal, Miguel Almiron on that occasion. Two-1 down. Bruno halving the deficit. 16 minutes of normal time to go. There'll be a replay in about a week and a half if this finishes level. Sheffield Wednesday looking for a third here. Windass 10 yards outside the area. Joel Linton, I think, is the guilty party there. Botman was behind Windass, challenging for it. Joel Linton came in at the front and may have blocked him off. It's a Sheffield Wednesday free kick, 30 yards out, central position, and ideal spot for a strike at Newcastle's goal.
Good way out, isn't it?
Windass is behind it. And the number 11, Johnson's pulled out wide on the left into quite a bit of space. Kieran Trippier is keeping an eye on him. Looks like it's going to be Windass who's going for the hat-trick here. Josh Windass, free kick, good one, hits the bar! And then Dubravka tries to get up and make a save from the header and does. And
what a free kick that was
by the referee. Newcastle have a free kick. Josh Windass, who scored a hat-trick on Monday, is denied a hat-trick tonight by the crossbar from a 30-yard free kick.
What a free kick. Dear oh dear. Thank you for crossbars.
And then they had another attempt. Dubravka was on the floor, having dived for the free kick that was headed towards the far corner. He got back up and pushed it away. Big piece of goalkeeping to keep it at 2-1, and then a free kick was given. You're listening to BBC Radio Newcastle. Botman to Joel Linton, 2 on him. Back to Botman. Lascelles, middle of Newcastle's half, to the left to Botman again. Almiron wide on the right, just watching the line of defenders. Ball doesn't come to him though. Wood has been dispossessed, and then Sheffield Wednesday have worked it down the right hand side, and Windass is in again into the area looking for Johnson on this near side. Too much on the ball. Johnson has kept it in on the touchline, now in the corner, delivers a dangerous cross that's headed over by Michael Smith from 6 yards.
Whoa! Dear oh dear. Scary moments.
Bruno might have been pulled back. Referee says play on. They've got it. Willock, right of centre. Almiron 5 yards ahead. Has it now, and back through for Willock. The flag stays down. Wood at the far post. Willock's ball took a nick off a defender and then gets cleared. Almiron to Bruno. He's made a run through into the box. Almiron doesn't get it. Joe Willock does. Sidesteps his man. Willock blocked on the way through. Looked like when he beat the defender, Willock, and moved it onto his left, that he was just going to roll it into the far corner, but a defender got in the way.
Well, great block, great feet, Willock as well.
Trippier, angled ball up to the edge of the area. A sliding Wednesday player puts it out for a throw, 20 yards from the goal. 2-1 down, Newcastle. They could have been 3-1 down from the Windass free kick off the bar. 12 minutes of normal time, still long enough, John Anderson.
Oh, plenty of time. Yeah, still plenty of time.
Trippier to Almiron, wide right. Lots of Newcastle players up there. Combines with Bruno. Almiron wanting a corner. He's hooked the ball back to Ritchie, edge of the area. Charged down by Windass. Sheffield Wednesday very deep, and they're able to push up now because of the block on Ritchie's effort. And Newcastle with possession. Trippier on halfway. Wood makes a run, but now into an offside position as Trippier stepped into the Wednesday half. Ball didn't come anyway. It's Botman inside to the skipper, and Lascelles to Botman again on the left. Bruno stretching, controls, and then slides in and keeps possession, and then does a spin, but has lost it to Adeniran, who links up with Smith, and that's Sven Botman with a good and an important sliding challenge on halfway. Sheffield Wednesday throw.
A couple of meaty tackles flying around. Fair ones, mind.
There's more activity on the touchline, but it's Sheffield Wednesday who are going to bring on another player. They've got the ball, the League One team down the right wing, but it's gone out. Newcastle's throw, about in line with the edge of their own penalty area. Manquillo to Joelinton, into the box to Lascelles, forwards up to Wood, helped inside. Willock can play Almiron in. Now he can't. Almiron's offside. They've gone square instead to Trippier into the Wednesday half. Bruno gets it from Trippier, and he gets away from one and then two midfielders, then a third looking for Ritchie. Challenge comes in on Ritchie from Iorfa, and the ball is cleared, but they have it on this near side through Trippier again in front of halfway. Ritchie's dropped in to pick it up, drops his shoulder and goes down the right hand side to get away from a blue and white shirt. Combines with Trippier once more, inside to Willock. 2-1 down Newcastle. Now into the final 10 minutes. Lascelles over to Botman, lifted in, no one there, and touched back by Reece James to the goalkeeper Cameron Dawson.
Could be a hectic last 10 minutes, that's for sure.
They want to bring on another substitute, but the ball hasn't gone out of play. Goalkeeper's kick. Lascelles chests it to Bruno, and he's volleyed it back from near to halfway to Dubravka at the edge of the area. He has a touch to control, then a pass to Manquillo, and it has to come back inside to the goalkeeper, then back wide left to Manquillo, who's carried it into the middle of Newcastle's half, found Ritchie in the wide area. Applause from the Wednesday fans for the pressure. Botman switches it Trippier forwards. What a ball by Trippier. Joelinton away. Wood in the middle. Joelinton edge of the area. Now Chris Wood for the equaliser. Over the top first time from 7 yards out. Massive chance from a brilliant Newcastle break, and Wood has put it over the top.
Well, there's not much you can say about that, to be quite honest. What a ball, Trippier. Great run, Joelinton rolls it straight into his path, waiting for the net to bust, and he just skies it over the top. Huge chance.
They've missed a few tonight, Newcastle, but none as good as that.
No, that's a gilt edge chance. Centre forward should be putting them away.
Maybe Joelinton could have taken it on himself, but he did the right thing.
He did the right thing,
with,
yeah.
With support from Wood in a
He's just
good
rolled
position.
a square to him, yeah.
Well, huge opportunity. It can't be overstated, really. Oh, what a big chance that is, and it's still 2-1 to Sheffield Wednesday somehow. It might have been a little bit further back than I said Wood. I don't want to do him any kind of disservice or misrepresent him, possibly getting on for 12 yards out. Right-footed over the top, but they're coming again, Newcastle, looking for an equaliser this time. Willock down the left. It's Manquillo. It's back through, and it's behind off a defender.
McGuinness.
Corner. Manquillo is hurt. And he's being checked on by a couple of his teammates. Trippier takes the ball out to the corner. Wood put both hands on his face, and then with his head bowed, had a moment to reflect on that missed opportunity. He met the last Kieran Trippier corner that led to the Bruno goal. He would love to make amends, Chris Wood, by scoring here. Sheffield Wednesday going to make their changes. There's two players ready to come on. It's Callum Patterson and I think Jack Hunt. It's not easy to see the black numbers, is it, on the blue and white shirts?
No, they're not the easiest, are they?
Newcastle corner anyway, 2-1 down, 6 minutes of normal time to go. Trippier, another in-swinger. Put over by Michael Smith at the near post, right in front of the keeper.
Yeah, keeper was coming to punch. Big centre forward wasn't taking any chances. He put it behind another corner. Play it with your right, Mickey. No, throw it instead.
Almiron had to collect the ball and then threw it across to Trippier.
Could have played it with his right, couldn't he?
Could have done. Could have done. He's at the back post, Almiron here, completely free. Trippier, another corner, and it's straight to Almiron, left-footed volley towards goal. They've just forgotten all about it.
Yeah, they just left them all on his own.
It's cleared. Now it's Ritchie forward to Bruno. Good cross, flicked away, and now Willock in the area, and they're looking to get it on towards goal again, and it's scrambled behind, couple of deflections, and the third Newcastle corner. 2-1 down.
All over the place.
Oh, the nerves on the being displayed by the Sheffield Wednesday fans to our right. Nail's been bitten. As Trippier's corner is headed away. Ritchie back into Bruno. Almiron on the right wing. Bruno again. Ritchie, man free to the left, is Trippier into the box, brought down by Botman and then pushed clear. Joelinton onto Bruno. It's all Newcastle pressure on BBC Radio Newcastle, but they're still behind 2-1. Joelinton to Trippier, furthest player back, 15 yards into the Wednesday half. Bruno drives in the cross, headed clear. Trippier inside. He's got more white shirts to the left, one of them Willock to Joelinton. Manquillo goes on the outside. Joelinton goes up to the edge of the area and gives it to Willock. Now back inside to Manquillo, taking on Adeniran. And Across it comes to Almiron on his thigh, down the line for Trippier, back to Almiron, left-footed, back to Willock, big chance, Matt Ritchie over the top. Matt Ritchie over the top on his favoured left foot from the edge of the area.
You'd have fancied him, wouldn't you? The way he strikes the ball. He just blazed it over the top. They're definitely living on their nerves Wednesday.
And now the players, the defensive players, who've been putting in a lot of hard work, are stretching out the cramp. It's always the team that's winning, never the team that's chasing that has cramp. 87 minutes on the clock. Michael Smith is coming off, and he's being replaced by Callum Patterson, forward, who's played for Scotland, played in the Premier League against Newcastle for Cardiff. That's where you may know him from. And Jack Hunt, the other player. And he's replacing Liam Palmer, both like for like changes. Patterson not quite the same big centre forward as Smith, but an attacker nonetheless, and Hunt will go onto the right side of defence. They'll hope for a lengthy additional period, Newcastle, but they are now, with 2 minutes of normal time remaining, in real danger of going out to the FA Cup to a team from League One again. Bouncing ball offside against Josh Windass, whose 2 goals. Sheffield Wednesday in front. Bruno with Newcastle's response. His first FA Cup appearance and first FA Cup goal. Bruno for Newcastle after coming off the bench. They've made changes. One of them, Trippier, looking for another. Almiron, who has it on the right wing, lifts it away and couldn't keep it in under pressure from Johnson. Wednesday told to get on with it by the referee, which they do, and Newcastle have it back. Bruno to Botman behind the centre circle. He's looking for a long pass. It's on the floor, 20 yards or so instead to Willock. Inside to Bruno, deep in central midfield. Has to come in, and it's Ritchie. On it goes to Manquillo. Ritchie goes down the line. Manquillo inside to Bruno. Joelinton receives it back to Botman. 30 seconds of normal time remaining. Joelinton turns away from a Sheffield Wednesday player who's been left on the floor in a heap. Willock. Almiron. Corner of the area to Willock. They want it put out. Wednesday. Newcastle aren't going to oblige. Joelinton, and now Ritchie, a chance to cross. It's a corner, another corner.
See how many minutes.
Here's the numbers board, 6 additional minutes.
6 minutes additional time.
Still enough time. Still plenty of time.
Sheffield Wednesday medical team come on. Enough time to take it to a replay. Enough time to get 2 and win it, but they'd settle for a replay now, having really not wanted that at the start of the night. You know, realistically, 3rd in the Premier League against a team doing well in League One, but 2 divisions below. They would have expected to go through in 90 minutes, Newcastle, but the treatment is given. I think it's Windass, but again, very difficult to see on the far side. And
all he's doing is wasting his own team's time, you know.
Yeah, if the referee adds on more for this, and it'll be another minute, then Newcastle will have a bit longer to
just banged his knee.
Byers, I think, rather than Windass. Anyway, Sheffield Wednesday have 10 men, but they have 2-1 up in added on time. And the 9 outfield players that are on the pitch are in the box. Here's Trippier's corner. It's underneath the crossbar. It's headed away in front of the keeper. Matt Ritchie forwards, and another half clearance, and then they manage to get rid of the ball. Manquillo, 30 yards out, is on it. Trippier back into the box. Lascelles rises and then smacked forwards by Johnson. Dubravka leaves his area, beaten twice tonight. Beaten the third time, but the crossbar was there to protect Newcastle. Trippier, long ball forwards. Lascelles has stayed up. Wood might get onto this. McGuinness away. Bruno left side of central midfield. Back with a ball to halfway. Trippier, 2 more Sheffield Wednesday substitutes already. Bruno to Trippier, 3rd minute of additional time. Botman up towards Lascelles. He stayed up, and they have another centre forward there in the form of the captain, Bruno. Referee says play on. There was a trip. Newcastle have the ball. Willock left of centre. Ritchie out wide. Willock to Wood. Back first time to Manquillo, and now Ritchie in off the left wing to Bruno. Wide it goes again to Ritchie. There's not much space. It's all in front of Sheffield Wednesday at the moment. Back to Trippier. Outside of the right boot, around a couple of players to Manquillo. 2-1 down. Newcastle. Ritchie near to the corner of the box, gets turned, sticks it in there. Not a bad one. Botman beaten to it, and then a couple of headers away. Trippier retrieves. Bruno receives. And back to Trippier. And Bruno again in front of halfway. He's run away from one player in blue and white and forwards, and then worked out wide left to Willock. Wood edge of the area. It's rolled across to Trippier and swung in round the back. It's beaten everybody. Ritchie keeps it alive. Bruno, corner of the area, left-footed high ball under the crossbar and caught by the goalkeeper.
Poor ball, just scooped up there. Keeper's ball all day.
And the goalkeeper bounces the ball, comes to the edge of the area in no hurry. 4 minutes 20 seconds of the additional period played, but they had a man down getting treatment for a good minute as Botman is caught. Aerial challenge, free kick for Newcastle. They've taken it too quickly, and 2 Sheffield Wednesday changes. Now George Byers coming off. Tyree Beckinson is coming on. And Josh Windass, the double goal scorer, is also getting a rest, and Malik Wilkes, another forward, is coming on in his place. It's Sheffield Wednesday 2, Newcastle United 1, and we're into the 6th additional minute here on BBC Radio Newcastle. Free kick taken by Dubravka to Trippier. Long ball forwards up to the edge of the area. Lascelles trying to head it on. It's cleared, and they've held it up, Sheffield Wednesday. Bruno is back, and it's Adeniran, was it, who was causing the problems. Bruno's got it again, looking long. Diagonal ball. Botman flicks on. Joelinton just inside the area, volleyed across. It won't reach Almiron. It's lifted away. Bruno back inside. Almiron has got it. Gets away from one. Pushes it around a Sheffield Wednesday midfielder. Gets it down the left wing now, Almiron. We've played beyond the 6 minutes. 2-1 down. Joelinton drops his shoulder, gets away. Low ball stabbed clear. Ritchie tries to win it. Sheffield Wednesday have got rid. Referee has a look at his watch. There should still be more time added. Trippier forwards. We still play on. Lascelles goes for a ball in the air. Bruno fouled. This might be the last
chance. I'm not sure about that, by the way.
Fouled out on the right in the Wednesday half. And they've got a free kick. Dubravka, is he going to go forwards? He wants the bench to tell him whether he can. He's signalling to them. Dubravka, are they going to send him up? Not at the moment. He stayed back near halfway, near the centre circle. This might be their last shot at it, Newcastle. They're taking the free kick from the wrong place, so they've had to move it back a few yards. Moments away from going out of the FA Cup in the third round to a League One team again. Trippier's moved it forwards, the free kick. That's why there are cheers from the home fans. The ball is sent in. It's Manquillo with a header. Couldn't get it towards goal. Then he sticks it back into the middle. But it's Sheffield Wednesday who win it. Now Bruno gets it back, flicked towards their own goal by a defender and hooked away. It's wide on the left. We've almost played 8 additional minutes. Willock and Bruno. Still Willock, corner of the area. They can't get it towards goal. Clear to halfway. There's the full-time whistle. Newcastle United have been knocked out by the League One side Sheffield Wednesday, and they've gone out at the third round stage to a team from a lower division for the second season running, and for the 8th time this century they are eliminated by a side from the lower leagues. It's a defeat by 2 goals to 1. Josh Windass, first one was offside, second one good finish having been played through for 2-0. Bruno, who was offside, got Newcastle back into it with a rebound from a Chris Wood header that was saved. Wood missed a glorious chance to make it 2-2. They had other opportunities, but a much changed team, and then in the second half with some of their star players on, couldn't do the job against League One opposition John Anderson, and they are out of the FA Cup.
Yeah, they're out of it. I mean, 2 decent finishes. Had a chances to get back into it. I mean, Chris Wood's had a huge chance to draw us level and get us a replay. Huffed and puffed, threw bodies forward, threw balls in there. Sheffield Wednesday, to their credit, put their bodies on the line, threw themselves in front of stuff. If it tough to take, you know. It's disappointing, but look, he made the changes tonight, made an awful lot of changes, and it probably tells you when you haven't got your first 11 on the pitch, what we've got underneath that unfortunately isn't going to be good enough.
Newcastle's players go to the away fans. They are applauding their efforts tonight. It's still been a brilliant season, but this is a low point. It's only a second defeat of the campaign for Newcastle, the first since Liverpool, controversially, in the early weeks of the season. And a 15-match unbeaten run is ended. Wednesday are 18 without defeat. They won't be in tomorrow's draw for the FA Cup 4th round, but they have a League Cup quarter-final on Tuesday. Newcastle still 3rd in the Premier League, but beaten by League One Sheffield Wednesday in the FA Cup 2-1.